Well, I got one heck of a legal battle coming up here. Whoa. Who knew they could do this? And I want to talk to you about what I've been doing and how I led up to this. As you know, Carolyn and I live off grid. And we've been living here for 3 years. And prior to that, we lived 3 or 4 years in a camper, traveling the country. It was quite exciting. What I noticed about campers in the nomadic community is it was a bunch of retired people. And I don't know of anybody in that community upset that older people were out traveling and living in a little camper with a limited amount of electricity, or even worse than that, living in a van like Carolyn and me. Nobody complained. Trying to find water all the time. Oh, that was exciting. But when you live here, it's a whole different story. We have electric, and we have all the electric we need. We have a constant supply of water. We have a house with a constant supply of heat. We've got 15 years worth of heat just in firewood. So I don't quite understand the mentality that when you have a home that is paid for, with property that's paid for, with taxes that are only $43 a year, that somehow you're too old to do that. You're not going to be able to do it. I watched a video, somebody saying it's just constant hard work. Well, yeah, if that's what you want to do, yeah, it's constant hard work, but that's not what I want to do. What I want to do is relax. I don't want to have to work that hard. So I've got some chickens, and they literally take about an hour a day to deal with. Maybe not even that much, maybe a half hour a day. It's just not that complicated. I basically take care of them 3 times a day, but I just don't see it that big of a deal. And I have a job, so my YouTube channel makes money, so it's not like I'm skimming off the society with some sort of check from the government. I don't take any of that. I've never found that to be morally responsible. I got it all done before I got too old where I couldn't do it. Built a tiny house, built that all by myself, didn't need any help. And people still argue with me, oh yes you did, I'm sure you did, you can't build that by yourself. Well, you can go back and look at my videos. Carolyn helped with the north wall. She lifted it up, helped me lift it up. She helped me put the shower together. It was one of those plastic showers you had to assemble. And even though it said you could do it by yourself, you really couldn't. But the north wall, I really didn't need help. We were up here eating watermelon one evening, admiring the house and the progress. And I said, well, I should just go ahead and get that up. So she got up on there and helped me lift it up. We screwed it down. Other than that, the whole thing was done by me. But it took motivation. And the thing is I didn't have to work that hard at it. I wasn't killing myself 8 hours a day for 3 months. I'd come up here for 3 hours, record a video, then I come down and edit the video. So the recording of the video, I should say, was me building the house. It took about 3 months. There were some days I would work a little bit longer, but man, we're talking like 5 hours. The same thing with the firewood. It wasn't that hard. I don't really remember doing it that much other than one spot that we got firewood from was on a hill, and that was pretty tough. We went and got free firewood from an app, you know, in Facebook Marketplace, all that free stuff, and we go and pick it up and bring it home, and we just split it over time. It has not been that difficult. And when I hear a YouTuber saying, it's going to be the hardest thing you ever done in your life, and then they're calling me out on it, telling me that, well, telling you that I'm fibbing to you. I just can't imagine what it is that I do all day that's so complicated that I'm actually lying to you. I don't feel like I'm lying. On most days, I get up, take care of the chickens. I sit on my computer doing different things. Thinking of a video idea. I have this little game I like to play for a little bit. Wait for Carolyn and the cat to wake up. In the winter, I will start the wood stove. During the winter, I may have to split a little bit of firewood, simply because when we were splitting it, we didn't split it small enough. I've explained this story before. We split to the size of a wood stove we had down here by the camper. But when we moved in the house, we weren't sure what size it was going to be, so we split it a little too big. So we take a little hatchet and split it again. Again, not that complicated. Carolyn does laundry. I know everybody thinks that's just real abusive, but she does laundry maybe every 3rd day or so. But I mean, she doesn't even really take it that seriously, to be honest. She'll get a bucket of water in the morning, and all day long she'll kind of splash around for a minute or two and go do something else. And then about 10 o'clock, I come back down and I give the chickens what we call a treat. It's just a pan full of maybe alfalfa or food scraps or whatever we got. And then I go back over to the house, and I might have to fill water during that time on sunny days. I've been doing it every day recently. I used to only do it about every third day. But since we've been on solar panels now, I do it about every day. But I mean, how hard is that? I go down to the shed, I flip a switch, I come up here, I grab a hose and I put it in the tank and I wait for it to fill up. Whew, that's exhausting. I mean, people spend more time taking care of their dogs than I do taking care of this place, I think. We got the cat, so I have to feed her. Oh, that's terrible. I feed her twice a day some chicken, and throughout the day she begs for a little handful of, well, she thinks it's a treat, but it's actually just bagged food, you know, dry food. We put it there on the corner of the bed and she eats that like it's some sort of snack. I don't understand what's so difficult. And now that it's cooler temperatures, we're starting to can again. And I just don't see canning as a huge issue. I've made, I think, maybe 2 batches, maybe 3 batches of chicken. And chicken takes a longer amount of time to do than anything else because we cook the chicken. So I get up 4:30 in the morning and I start the chicken. Now, the day before I kind of prepare a little bit. I get the pans full of water. So all I got to do is come down here, put the chicken in, start the flame, and it starts cooking. Well, it cooks for a couple hours. Then Carolyn and I come down here, we debone it, put it in a jar, and then we go through the canning process. Really, most of the day canning is just waiting for the stuff to get done. There's not a lot of work to it. Now tomorrow I'm going to be canning. We're canning pork. We had 2 20-pound big pork roast. They were packaged, 2 pieces in each package. So I guess it was 5 pounds each, 5 pounds, 5 pounds, 5 pounds, 5 pounds. So it came up to 20 pounds. So this morning I came down here and I cut up 15 pounds of that 20. Carolyn wants to keep it with 5 pounds so she can put it in the oven and roast it. But the rest of it, I cubed like that and put it in the jars. Now I'm not going to do anything for the rest of the day. So that took 3 hours. I don't even know if it might have taken, yeah, I guess 3 hours. So from 8 to 11. And it may not have been that much. It was probably more like 8:30 to 11. And during that time, I had to go check the mail, and Carolyn was cooking breakfast in the middle of that, so I paused and ate some breakfast. So I'm going to say that I was maybe on it 2 hours. And I cut up all the pork into the little cubes, and then I jarred it up. Carolyn came down and was visiting with me, so that was pleasant. We're still together, talking. And then when I started getting it all packed up, now we don't have refrigerators, so we have to try to keep this cool just with frozen food. So when it came out of the freezer, I let it thaw out for a couple days in the cooler. So it's been sitting in the cooler. Well, when I came down here, parts of it was still frozen. But the knife would go through it. I got a pretty sharp knife, so it would still go through it. And then we jarred it up. And then Carolyn put it in here so it would stay frozen. We got a piece of meat down there, you know, the one that she's going to cook. And then I went back up to the house. Now tomorrow, well, I guess tonight, I'll get the canners ready. I'll wait until after Carolyn cooks supper because I don't want to be having a bunch of stuff in her way. And then I'll get the canners ready. And then I'll get 4:30 in the morning. And I'll start 2 canners. I'll put the jars in the canner. I'll put the lids on and all that. We have 2 canners, but we have enough to make 3 canners full. So I'll finish one, and then later I'll do another one. I'm going to make a video of that one. So again, I'm kind of combining my jobs. You know, YouTube I make money with, so I'll take the camera and make a video of me doing what it takes to sustain life here. And then, of course, I'm always accused of abusing Carolyn. Now, Carolyn and I are on a carnivorous diet, and apparently Harvard just came out with new studies that says beef causes diabetes, type 2 diabetes. Well, it's not true. The way they do this is they follow people around for 20 years. What'd you have for breakfast last week? What'd you have for supper last week? And these studies actually can be interpreted any way you want it to be interpreted. They're useless. Oh, so you ate a hamburger last week? Yes. Well, did you have any bread with it? They don't ask that question. We know that bread has sugar in it. It's carbohydrates. We know that sugar causes diabetes. We know this. We know that doctors do a test. They can do a diabetes test. You eat sugar, your whatever goes up, insulin or whatever it is. These doctors on YouTube are showing the results of them eating a piece of bread from McDonald's. But then they eat some meat and their insulin doesn't go up. So it's a lie. It's just another narrative. So now that I'm on this carnivorous diet, I'm being told that I'm abusing Carolyn because she's going to get diabetes. I don't know why people seem to think that I tell Carolyn what to do. First of all, she's older than me. I have no reason to tell her what to do. She's going to do whatever she wants. But now that Carolyn has went to the hospital, we took her to the emergency room a few weeks ago, and she has decided she wants to do a holistic method of taking care of herself. Now, we could get a surgery. When we were in the emergency room, I decided not to say a word. I asked her, so you're going to get the surgery? She said, well, heck no. And I said, okay. So the thing is I was on Google instantly because I had what she has. I had it one time, and I took care of it myself. The symptoms went away after a while, but I didn't even realize I had it until later. So I was dealing with this for a long time in my life, all through my 30s and a good portion of my 40s. But then I learned what it was, and I started taking care of it. And I don't even remember it going away. It just did. So we're really aggressively taking care of Carolyn, and things are getting better. But I'm being abusive because some reason, since Carolyn doesn't want to get a surgery and have a hole cut in her and have to be on medication possibly for the rest of her life and control her diet so she doesn't have to go to the bathroom in an emergency situation, I don't want to get too disgusting, somehow we're being abusive, even though the holistic methods have been shown to work. From naturalists, you're not going to get a doctor to say that. They don't make money from natural healing. So now, I guess the big argument is, well, you're not my age. So somebody's commenting to me, you're not my age. You couldn't do this when you're my age. What are you going to do when you grow old? What do you mean, what am I going to do when I grow old? I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. I don't see this being a big deal. I don't need electric. So, well, you're going to need medical devices and that kind of thing. Okay, if I need medical devices, my system should be able to handle it just fine. I don't see a big deal. And the other thing is I'm not a big let's go see doctors fan. You know, I've told you, doctors blinded me. I think I'm getting better. I can actually see the camera. I can see myself in the camera. It's blurry, but I can see it. So I'm getting better. I'm curing myself, and I didn't need to go get my eye fixed. Surgery. But people don't even agree with the holistic method of doing anything. It's just they don't have the patience for it. They don't believe. That's the thing, is they don't believe it could work. How can it possibly work? I didn't spend millions of dollars going to a doctor to find out that I need to take medication for the rest of my life so they can lie to me. The thing is, I think most people would agree, doctors do lie. I mean, all through the 90s and early 2000s, they literally fed us opioids, drugs, that if you bought on the streets right now, it would be illegal. There are drugs on the streets that they actually sell in the hospitals or doctors give out that have the same name. And it's okay if the doctor gives it to you and makes you a drug addict, but if you go down to the cartels and get the same thing, that's terrible. Why? I've known so many people in my life who are addicted to prescription drugs, and it seems like, well, that's okay. I'm addicted to prescription drugs. And it's just, I don't even know how to get into it. But somehow, me taking care of myself, Carolyn taking care of herself, not addicted to drugs, not getting surgeries, not paying the pharmaceutical companies millions of dollars every year, this is wrong. I don't personally care about longevity of life. I care about quality of life. And to be taking drugs and being unhappy, I'm just not willing to do it. Since I've started the carnivorous diet, I've never been healthier. That is an absolute true statement. I can breathe better. My shoulders work better. I can go up and down the hill. The other day I tried to do 10 push-ups and I was not able to do it. So I stayed with it for a few days and now I can do 50. I mean, just a few days. It did not take long at all to get up to 50 without really trying. It's not like I'm on this huge exercise program. I just wanted to be able to do push-ups. People are criticizing me because I'm not lazy. I'm going to get up at 4:30 in the morning. Oh, I mean, I even heard this in the comment section. I can't get up at 4:30 in the morning. It's just not worth it to me to go through all that effort. I can just go to the store and buy something. And then, like I was saying earlier, people think that when I get old, I'm not going to be able to do this. If Carolyn dies before me, my life will change a little bit. I will admit. My eating habits will be different, but I will still be on the carnivorous diet. I will literally just go to the store and pick up bags of chicken. It's the cheapest thing to pick up. I'll can it, and then each day I can open up a can of chicken or pork or whatever. I don't have to spend any time cooking. I'm not a big fan of cooking. Now, I do enjoy canning, I will admit that, but I'm not a cook. I just don't like to cook. So that's about the only thing that's going to change. Our lives are set up almost perfect. If I die, Carolyn can pick up right where the next day. So I'm not ready to go in a nursing home just yet, even though a large portion of my subscribers think I should. So if you'll click this up next box, take you to the video where I was talking about canning. So I hope I can inspire you. Stop growing old so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.